About the burning bush. It may be the many stories in the Bible that tempt us to look for a special vocation. It is undoubtedly a fascinating thing to be given a very special mission by Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Let's read about the calling of Moses, from the American Standard Version, Exodus chapter 3. Feel free to read the entire chapter in your Bible. I'll just quote a few verses from it here.
And the angel of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And when Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he, Moses, said, Here am I. And he, God, said, Draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
It is easy to overlook the fact that over the many thousands of years covered by the Bible, such vocations are few and far between. Considering the millions of people who lived during that time, even hundreds of such vocations remain isolated exceptions. Yes, there are some amazing stories among them. Who would not want to be called by Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh in such a way? We should recognize that our daily lives are shaped by Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh's already spoken word, and not by such exclusive vocations. Moses was a shepherd in the wilderness for 40 years before Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh called him, having previously spent 40 years as a prince at Pharaoh's court among the mighty and rich of the land. What a dramatic fall! And Moses brought it upon himself by a single, reckless act. Exodus 2 verse 11 through 25. What a catastrophe, from the son of a king to a shepherd, tending sheep, day in and day out, in the sweltering heat of the desert. The brevity of the narrative in the Bible makes it easy to overlook the periods of time and developments that precede the particular actions of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. At the age of 20, Moses would have been completely unfit as a prince to lead the Israelites through the desert for 40 years. And even at the age of 40, his rebelliousness disqualified him from any responsible position. Wouldn't another 20 years as a shepherd have been enough to qualify him for the task that lay ahead of him? Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh's people, the Israelites, the apple of his eye, had to do another 20 years of hard labor in Egypt because Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh's time to deliver his people had not yet come. In Moses' day, a shepherd was only a hand's breadth above a slave, light years away from Moses' former position at the royal court. It had nothing of the romance of a shepherd on a cozy green meadow in the peaceful foothills. These were not even his sheep. Nothing belonged to him, Moses. After becoming a murderer, he had to be happy to find refuge in the wilderness with his future father-in-law. 40 years, 480 months, 14,610 days of obedient service. 80 years without a vocation, from palace to sheep dung. A botched life, from our perspective. How many predators did Moses scare away who saw him and his sheep as a welcome meal? But without this preparation, would Moses have stood even the slightest chance? How many days must I serve obediently before I can expect a special calling from Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh? How many Israelites suffered under hard labor in Egypt? They would have been happy to be free people. None of them dared to dream of a special mission, a special calling. There was no time to think about the plan for their lives. Yes, we can desire a special calling from Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. But it won't hurt to understand that nothing empowers us as much as daily, obedient and faithful discipleship. Be it for 20, 40, 60 or even 80 years. Without a burning bush. O lady, O sir, you have been told what is good. Micah 6 verse 8. The Bible tells us that we can lay up treasures in heaven. I take this to mean that if I serve him faithfully, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh will not leave me unrewarded. It may be that Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh rewards this here in my earthly life, for example, through a special calling. If not here, then I will continue to collect treasures in heaven. That is a reward that no one can take away from me. We should not lose sight of the fact that it is not about us being admired, that we allow ourselves to be honored, but that the honor and admiration is due to our Creator, Yod He Vav He alone. See chapter Gideon, in the second part of this book. There are far too few obedient servants. Yod He Vav He will not keep them waiting in readiness any longer than absolutely necessary. And there have always been more than enough pompous nerds who want to sit to the right and left of Jesus. What kind of group do you want to be a part of? From time to time, I hear stories about Yod He Vav He sending angels to people to reveal the gospel to them. On the one hand, it is fascinating that this is happening more and more among Muslims. On the other hand, it is shameful that Yod He Vav He apparently cannot find enough of his children to accept this mission. Are angels really the better choice for that? Or are they just the second choice, the fallback? If Yod He Vav He does not achieve his goals with us, then he knows other ways. What do we take away from ourselves? What do I take away from myself because everything else is more important to me than letting Jesus send me? How many more miracles could I witness that Jesus performs in the power of his Father if I gave him more space in my life? We sit on the couch or in the church pew and listen to these miracle stories that impress us, and do not realize that our failure is being held up before our eyes. My failure, your failure. Jesus commissioned me, commissioned you, to bring his good news to all nations, Matthew 28 verse 19. We are sitting around waiting for the burning bush. The bush has been burning for a long time, but we are blind, deaf, dumb and disobedient. Buy eye ointment from Jesus. Revelation 3 verse 18. Do you want to experience miracles? Then start being an obedient servant right now. Jesus gave me and you the calling to do this 2,000 years ago. It is more relevant today than ever. You don't have to travel to faraway lands. There are enough people coming to us from distant lands. The district of Hamburg where I last lived in Germany is home to 20,000 people from over 150 nations. I don't have to quit my job to serve them in Yod He Vav He's love. I just have to get my butt off the couch or off the pew. I don't have to sell my car and all my possessions right away. It's a good start if I have time for these seekers. 2 hours a week is a good start. Then one more angel can do what Yod He Vav He really called them to do, to serve him and sing Hosanna. A life awaits you that is far more exciting than any thriller or reality show on television. But while you wait for the burning bush, you will miss it. How can you know what Yod He Vav He wants from you? What distractions are drowning out Yod He Vav He's voice? What biblical invitation or command are you ignoring? Where can you begin to be obedient to Yod He Vav He? Where can you volunteer 2 hours a week? Who are the people for whom your heart burns? Who can you pray for? Is there a thought that you have dismissed as impossible, but which could be an assignment from Yod He Vav He? To whom do you have something to forgive?